eSafety Commissioner Julie Grant is personally lobbying the Labor government to get kids banned from YouTube. So this week she stood up at the National Press Club and tried to make arguments as to why YouTube, which currently has an exemption carved out, should be banned if you are a 15-year-old person basically wanting to watch a podcast there.
Well, I don't make determinations or write recommendations to the minister based on whether I keep the public on side. I follow the evidence. And my main concern with these platforms is obviously that harm's happening, but I talked about the persuasive design features. I mean, YouTube has mastered those. That opaque algorithms driving users down rabbit holes that they are powerless to fight against.
Strange that she doesn't care whether her views on YouTube are out of step with the general public. There is a bit of an arrogance to that. And when she mentions evidence guides her decision-making, she really means opinions, not evidence, because this isn't a maths equation. It isn't as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. It is complex and highly subjective. And she slips up a few times on this point, because the social media ban was always sold to us as being about children being groomed, children being bullied online, and real present dangers. Now, all of a sudden, it is about rabbit holes. Julie Grant, who is a left-wing activist, who has publicly attacked Donald Trump before, who obviously doesn't want teenagers to be able to go down what she thinks are the wrong rabbit holes, and that would be fine if she wasn't lobbying our government to change the laws in incredibly restrictive ways. I could not care less what this person thinks about social issues or politics or what she deems to be a dangerous rabbit hole. That is for parents to decide for their kids. The vast majority of teachers use YouTube, and YouTube is essentially just television. But Grant wants to ban it because they might see a Joe Rogan clip which she disapproves of. Now, YouTube is not about end-to-end user interactions. It doesn't have the same child bullying issues that are on Facebook. It is TV. And Grant also cannot even be honest about what this ban really is. We found her on LinkedIn this week getting in arguments with people who think the YouTube ban is stupid. And she wrote, "I am not sure if you saw the transcript of my National Press Club on how we plan to approach what we are trimming the social media delay. It is not a strict prohibition that will totally cut off kids' digital lifelines. Don't call it a ban. It is merely a delay." Talk about fluff and spin from someone who has no idea how these platforms work. Now, James, keen to get your thoughts on this. I'm probably at odds with, I think, a lot of people at our own company. I know the social media ban, some of its origins actually came from News Corp publications, but I work very closely with YouTube. I know how the platform works. I think that there has been a false equivalence that's kind of been drawn across there. And to me, it's just remarkable that we have people in such powerful positions making such broad claims about platforms that they seem to not understand from a technical perspective.
Yeah, what I thought was really good in your words there was that you identified from the first principle the ultimate arbiter of how much a child should be online and what social media platforms they should be engaging in is the parent. It's not unelected bureaucrats. So we need to start there and we can work our way back. Now, the data is in. Children that learn outside of school hours fare so much better through the rest of their lives than children who are only learning in school hours. And in 2025, YouTube is a goldmine for learning and education. And if you're cutting kids off from that, you are cutting them off from developing their interests, developing their brain, developing all the things that they could be learning. So you are cutting kids off from that. So when she says,
you can also customize it. Parents can make it whatever they want.
Exactly. Really. And the parents should know, what is my child watching on YouTube? Is that helpful, or is that these weird rabbit holes that she's concerned about? That's the parent's call. So when she changes the ban to a delay, I would encourage her to take it one step further in this language manipulation and just say, these are the amount of years I'm happy for kids to be held back from learning more. That's how she should approach it.
Angela, what are your thoughts? I mean, the ban in general across other apps, I can definitely see that there are some legitimate aspects to it. Where I'm struggling with the YouTube thing is it's basically a broadcasting. It doesn't have the end-to-end user.
I don't think it would actually come under the proposed legislation because it is not a two-sided platform, as you alluded to in your editorial there. The things that come under it are things like Snapchat, TikTok, things where there is interactions between people. And I know this because I've just done a deep dive into AI companions. Now, AI companions are, again, like YouTube, they are a web-based platform. So they too will not come under the proposed legislation. So
I'm more worried about that, to be honest.
Exactly. And that's what I was about to say, is that, yes, look, I am a fan of the social media ban. As a parent who struggled through my children's teenage years, I want that tribe. I want that legislation in place so I can point to it and say, no other parents are letting, my 15-year-old, you can't have that because everyone else can't have it either. That is a help to parents, but it has to be targeted and it has to be precise about what it's going to capture within it. Where is the biggest harm? It's with bullying, it's with suicide. AI companions, as we know, are really, really problematic. They don't fall under this. I'm really surprised that Inman Grant is not focusing on where she can create the best effect and drive through this policy in an effective way. We can't even get facial recognition right at the moment, so there's a long way to go.
That's such a good point.
Let's be really clear and really informed about what this legislation might cover. I don't think YouTube falls under that.
I agree. Angela Mollard, thank you so much. James Bolt, really appreciate it.